Hi, I'm just going to present some methods that I thought of that can deter cheated runs on Monster Jam River Assault on the DS, specifically emulator. There's a few options that you can enable that can help verify the run's legitimacy. So the first one right here is the input display. I've been using this. If I go ahead and open up the ROM here, so you can see this input display, like whenever I press a button right now, like I'm pressing the B button right now, that shows up as black. There's like a black overlay over it. And this is what happens when you're just playing like normally. If you're instead playing back a recorded input file, which is what you would normally do when making a task, this, instead of black, it would be red. Showing the input display during the run kind of just proves that you're not just playing back a recorded input file. So that's a really easy way of making sure that this is not just a played back recording. Because if I disable this, you can enable this by going to View, HUD, and then Display Graphical Input. You can see it's off. If it's off, there's no indication that this is either being played live or if it's just a recorded input file. Having the input display on screen can show that. Again, go to View, HUD, Display Graphical Input. My second proposal is DisMUI 0.9.13, which is the version that I've been using. Allows you to record an input file, and my idea is that you can record the input file for your entire session just as an added layer of, oh hey, you played this and it's not just a recorded back input file. I mean, again, the input display already does that, but the record movie option does that as well. So here's how I would like to set it up. In order to record an input file, you want to make sure you're on 0.9.13 or whatever's the latest version, because I don't know if there's going to be any desyncs between different versions. So you go to File, Record Movie, and you'll see this menu right here. So the file, you can click this button right here, that'll browse. So just create an empty folder and just name this test recording. And so this is just your session recording. The author, you can put whatever. You want to make sure that start from power on is turned off, just so that when someone goes to play back the recording, it will all sync together. Because what will happen is if you uncheck that start from power on, you'll be given, at the end of your recording, you'll be getting a DSM file, which is the input file, and the DST file, which is like the save state file at which the recording started at. If you instead tick the box that says start from power on, when someone goes to play it back, there will be no save file, so the recording will be desynced. I mean, the game state itself will be desynced. So now the input recording is working, it's recording. I'm gonna just do some attempts. Pretend this is a gameplay session. Alright, so when you get the run that you want, say it's a new best or a new record or whatever, you can go to File, Stop Movie, and that'll stop the recording. You'll get a DSM and a DST file. So what you can do now is you can send off these recordings, or send off these input files, along with your recording. The thing about this DSM file is it has all the inputs. Like, as you can see, there's a button for, what is that, 7 frames? Like, a button press for 7 frames. I don't exactly know what the input file exactly is, but when I understand it, I'm gonna make a program to kind of visualize the input display, I feel like. Yeah, just having this input file can protect against like fast inputs, rapid fire inputs. Any irregularities you see in the gameplay, like irregularity with like fast inputs or something, that will be reflected in this input file. So again, it's just an added layer of security. There's really no reason to not be doing this. It's only 297 kilobytes. And if you want to play back the recording, first you want to open up the same region ROM that the input file is made for, because there are some differences between the USA ROM and the European ROM. So you just want to go browse and test recording.dsm. Wherever it's downloaded to, make sure the DSM and DST file are in the same folder. Open it and click OK. And then you'll see the input recording do its thing. As you can see, it automatically started at like the save state point. That's why the DST file is useful. And you can see the input recording is playing back fine. As long as you follow the exact instructions that I just did, that'll produce 100% consistent results. Alright, so eventually when you go far enough into the input recording, you're just gonna see the final result. Like, I ended the recording for the 9.0. That's a 9.0 right there. So everything plays back fine, everything works fine. There's no reason to not be doing this. I'm gonna start doing this for every record that I set. I'm gonna have the input recording as well. My opinion is this. So this graphical input display, which you can go to by going to View, HUD, and then checking Display Graphical Input on, I feel like that should be required. That should be a required thing.